Hi guys, welcome back or welcome if you're new. My name is Tiana and I'm the maker behind Also Stitched, and today we have another weekly makes, all in preparation for Supernova Comic Con and Gaming Convention here in Sydney, which is happening in less than a couple of weeks. For me, real time, it is happening in only a week and I'm already stressing, but by the time you are watching it, you will still have to see 3 videos of me prepping for that Comic-Con. This week is actually something I crocheted a couple of weeks ago. It is just the way I'm filming this and publishing it. So after Supernova, you will still watch 2 videos of me prepping for Comic-Con, and then you will have... Actually, I think I'm planning on 4 videos for Comic-Con because we are doing 3 days and each day I will vlog separately and I'm gonna go walk through. Like last year, I walked through only Artist Alley, but this year I plan on doing a bit of difference, so stay tuned for that. And also, in the end, I will do numbers per day, and after that I'll probably just have a big sit down to recap all 3 days together. Because I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't see myself crocheting anything in July. I will definitely feel burnt out and I won't be able to crochet anything. So that is why I have decided to spread this convention in multiple videos, just to give me some time to breathe and relax after everything is done and take some time off. That's the only reason. So today I'm gonna show you everything that I crocheted. I think this was 2 weeks ago. I'm collecting everything per week and then I just sit down and film everything. So I might be lacking some information because it was 2 weeks ago and I need to remember what I did, how I did, and things like that. This actually wasn't a big week for me. I'm just looking into my numbers. I have only crocheted for $190 and I didn't prepare my snap tabs. I might grab them. If not, I'll show them next week. That's fine. Because I've been not embroidering as much as I wanted to, and I'm definitely underprepared for embroidery part on my convention. But let's go into crochet. So what I did another 3 capybaras, but this time in Elise Velluto, because that is what I originally do them. I wanted to have at least 10 of them. At the moment I have 8 and I think I'm fine with 8. I got rid of this color completely and then I switched to a bit darker shade of brown, which still works. I still have this one enough to probably make 2 more in case they sell. I can easily make them during the weekend, even though I'm not the person who likes to crochet on the markets or conventions, just because I suffer anxiety and multitasking in such environments that are already overwhelming for me is another layer on everything that I'm feeling on that day. So I'm not the type of person that can crochet on such a big convention. It's just not something I can do because of the anxiety and everything that I suffer. I only have 3, which is amazing. I will be selling these for $30. They are nice and chunky and good size. In case you can hear these kids screaming, it is Saturday. Kids are playing outside in the street and they're very loud. I'm not gonna lie. There are days when I'm frustrated to be living in a street full of kids because these kids go bonkers all day from 3 p.m. till 8 p.m. Sometimes it is just even too much for me. We live in cul-de-sac and it is the safe street full of kids and it's annoying. Also, I can hear my son outside now. He's also home. It's Saturday, but he was home whole week. He was sick. With all of that, 3 capybaras for now. We'll see. I'm not sure if I will have more time to make. I have only a week, less than a week. We are setting up on Thursday. 3 capybaras. My favorite capybara pattern. It is by Crochet Code AU. This capybara won't flop on you. Never. This is actually the best pattern that I have found for capybaras. And you can even tell I overstuffed the tummy. It's bulging. It's not that feet are touching the phone, but still it is not flopping. It is not top heavy and I just adore this pattern. It is the best for me. I actually don't have a lot, like multiple items, because I was focused on a medium size plushies. I enjoy making medium-sized plushies more than smaller one. That is the only thing that I'm not prepared for this convention. I won't have a lot of keychains and my $18 basket is completely empty. I mean, I do have some things, but not a lot, and I have not been focusing on that at all. I didn't prep anything around $18 mark, and I might regret that, but I just don't enjoy making those. These were the plushies this week that I really enjoyed making, and one of them is Snoopy. This is a free pattern from Instagram. I'm really bad when it comes to Instagram names, pronouncing them, so everything will be linked down below. Even free pattern and pay patterns, so feel free to check it out. I loved this one. I mean, this is idiot-proof pattern, let me tell you. It is just legs, arms, ears, and puppy face and body. I'm trying to remember, you see, since I was doing this 2 weeks ago, let me just double check the pattern because I can't remember if this was also, yes, this was all parts were done separately and then you're sewing them on, which sometimes I don't mind because it is mindless. You do 2 legs, you do 2 arms, body, head, and then ears, and you're sewing everything on. Just some embroidery on his face. For this part, I just chained and secure at the bag and then embroidered the spot. Oh, and yes, he has a tail that is also sewn on. So yes, this is a full-on sewing pattern, but I just didn't mind. It was so nice, so easy to work with. This is done in original Bernat blanket because I don't have white in mill ends, and black is also Bernat blanket. White was so soft and so beautiful to work with. The black one was a bit harder, stiffer to work with, but still there is not a lot of black here. I wish my ears are a bit longer, a bit bigger. I'm not sure if I sewed them on the wrong spot or whatever, but I still think he is cute. He is the perfect size. This is the best size I like to make plushies. When you have some size to them and they are not either huge or small, this is just the perfect size for me. Let me double check the price I have put for him. So I'm gonna charge $70 for them. So bear in mind, these are prices for convention here in Sydney. So $70 might seem a lot for you, but I don't think it is for convention. I can always lower the prices later. I loved making this pattern. This was so mindless, so easy, so that I made 2. I was also kind of working through my yarn. Like I said in a couple of my last videos, I'm destashing my yarn. I'm working through my stash, and I had black and white Bernat blanket out, and I was like, let's just go through it, and you will see my next plushie is also black and white. So yeah, it was kind of black and white week for me, so I enjoyed this. I recommend this pattern if you don't mind sewing. Get a good yarn, don't do it in chenille. I didn't want to do it in chenille, first of all, because of sewing, and second, it would be very small. So I wanted a good size for him, and he is an amazing size. I love the way he looks, the way he feels. It is so cute, very easy, very fast. The embroidery part, you only have eyes, nose, and his smile, and there is a dot at the back, which is not a big deal. So amazing pattern, I do recommend it, and he can sit on his own. It is really the cutest. So yeah, I decided to make Snoopy just because I talked that in one of my videos. My embroidery keychain Snoopies have been selling really good, and I didn't even realize that Snoopy is a very popular character. I mean, it is an old character, so I just didn't think that it is still popular to this day, and I was surprised. I was selling really good those embroidered keychains, and I said, okay, let's just try and make a crochet plushie in this character and see how it will go at convention. So I will definitely report back if it's selling or not, but who doesn't like Snoopy? I mean, it is the cutest. So yeah, that is it. Free pattern on Instagram. And since I was on a Bernat black and white kick, I decided to make Hollow Knight character. This is a character from a game. I don't play games. I'm not a gamer. But both my husband and son do play this game, and this character is also on my son's computer desktop background, so I see him every day. I didn't know a lot about this game. I went to research before filming this, and I didn't know that this was actually an Australian game developer, so that's fun actually. So yeah, it is a popular character from the game, and since I'm doing gaming convention, I was like, let's just do it. I didn't even tell my son and my husband that I'm doing this character, and then I just showed up and show him the character. They both loved it. My husband said that eyes should be more rounded, less this elongated. I mean, it does have kind of elongated eyes, but more rounded on the top, which is a bit hard to do with just embroidery. I could do it with felt, but I just wasn't bothered. This is actually how it is done in the pattern. Pattern is from Shine Crafts Crochet. I also bought another pattern from her, which I will be sharing in next week. But for this week, I only decided to make this one since I was on a black and white kick. This is such a quick pattern. I can't even tell you how simple and easy this character is. There is a bit of sewing here, not a lot. You're sewing these horns or whatever they are on this character. You are starting the body with one leg, fastening off, second leg, joining in the round and finishing the body. And then you're doing head separately and sewing it to the body. It's not a big deal. I did it in a Bernat blanket. It's very easy to sew with Bernat blanket, and this was such a fast make. I can't even explain. And his robe is just the flat crochet, and it is just tied in the front, nothing else. You don't do anything, you just tie it in the front and that's it. That's how quick this character is. It is again a good size. This is compared to the Snoopy. Technically they are the same size, and that's why I will be pricing him $70, same as Snoopy. So I do think this is a good size for $70 plushie. Speaking of characters, because these are not the type of characters that you can easily go to the shop and buy a plushie version. So yeah, I don't mind charging $70. And same with the Snoopy, since it was an easy make, I made two. They're really fast. I can't even tell you if they were around an hour mark make, maybe an hour 10. I don't know. I didn't tie myself, but I did them very fast, especially because you're working with Bernat blankets, so they look bigger than what they actually are. For example, head is only 36 in the round. That is not a lot. So yeah, I have two Hollow Knight characters. I'm really happy with him. These horns are, yeah, they're just doing its own thing. I don't know, they should be like straight, but oh well, I don't mind them. I don't know what else to say. So the pattern is by Shine Crafts Crochet. An easy, straightforward, very well written pattern. I didn't have any issues with the pattern. I'm really happy with this character and this pattern, and I definitely recommend it. If you're doing conventions or anything with the characters, I mean, even if you don't, I would definitely do this for my uni markets, because I do have the same customers at my uni markets as I do at Supernova, so I would be able to sell this at uni markets for sure. And if these two guys sells, I will definitely make more for my uni markets when we are back in August. I didn't put a blush. There is a blush. I'm just looking into the pattern now. There is a blush in the pattern, but I asked my son, does he have a blush? And he said no. Why would you put a blush on him? And I said, even better, I'm not gonna put a blush. So yeah, there is no need to put a blush on this character, and that is it. And last but not least, I'm not gonna lie guys, this character broke me just for the size that it is and how much I'm gonna get for it and how much it actually took time-wise. And I'm talking about Charizard, Pokemon Charizard. And I mean, you can't even see him fully. He's not that big, but he took forever. I'm not gonna lie. Every single piece is sewed on, and I kind of lost motivation. It took me over a week to finish this guy. I was doing it in parts, portions. I was kind of pushing myself to finish this guy. I'm not gonna lie. And I wasn't looking forward to the part where I need to sew everything, and I was like, I just want to be done with him. I did him in chenille yarn just because I didn't have orange in any blanket yarn. Not enough orange. I did have some in Elise Veluto, but I didn't have enough. Originally, I had plans to buy Snug as a Bug orange, and I remember watching Tracy from Crochet by Tracy. She bought orange from Snug as a Bug, and it was the perfect color for Charizard, and I thought I'm gonna buy that, but at the same time I was like, I shouldn't be buying yarn, I need to be destashing. Let's work with what I have. And Hobby Toucan was the only yarn that I have enough orange So I decided to go with Hobby Toucan. I would love to have him in Snug as a Bug because he would be ginormous and then he would be worth the time he took. In this size, he is not big, but he took forever. Let me double check how much I'm gonna charge for him. I've put 120 and now I'm thinking 120 is nothing. I think I was going off of the size because he is not as big as some of my other $150 plushies. No, I'm putting 150. I'm changing my mind on the spot. I don't care. If he doesn't sell for 150, I'm gonna lower the price, but he was a lot of work. I'm gonna walk you through everything, but I don't see myself making this pattern ever again. Usually with this type of makes and dragons, I usually am one and done. Same with last year, I did Pyrie. That was definitely one and done, but that one was done in Bernat blanket and he was a huge size. They approximately took the same time to make, Pyrie and this one. So this one would be worth if I have done it in Bernat blanket and get the size that I had in Pyrie. Pyrie is the dragon I did last year from Snugglebeans Crochet, and I would prefer to have him in that size, and I would probably charge $200 if he was in that size. But unfortunately, I was cheap. I didn't want to buy new yarn, and now I have this size plushie. I mean, I'm not sure if you can reference the size very well because of his tail. I can't put him back to my head. Here, this is on my shoulder next to my head, just for the size reference. What are you essentially doing? You are doing all the parts. You have 2 hands, 2 feet, you have 2 horns. This is snout and head is all one piece. You're going back and embroidering the eye ridges or whatever is that. Is it like an eyebrow, whatever, you know what I mean? Wings are done 2 pieces. So you're doing teal and orange and securing them together. And tail is a separate piece that you're actually sewing on. You have these things that I hate making. It's not even perfect. You can still tell that my acrylic is not properly brushed because I don't have a proper brush. I do for my dog, but I'm not going to use it. Something that I've used on my dog. So the belly patch goes all the way to the tail and you're supposed to sew it. I didn't. I couldn't see myself sewing this long piece with chenille yarn. No way. There was no way I would be doing that. Imagine the length of the yarn tail that I would have to pull through all this length. That's not possible. What I did hot glue gun it. I can feel it a bit when I touch it up close, but it is not bad. I think I did an amazing job. You really can't tell that this is hot glue gun. There is no glue peeking or anything. The only thing I did stitch was this part just to make a smooth transition, just that lip, because when you are hot gluing there is kind of a lip left because I didn't want to go all the way to the edge so that my glue is not peeking through. So the only part that I saw was this part. And everything else is hot glue gun and it looks amazing. It was so quick. I feel like in the future I'm not scared to hot glue gun anything because this is not the type of plushie someone is gonna buy for a kid that's gonna play with it and destroy it as a toy. I really think these are collectible pieces that's gonna stay in the room on the shelf as a decoration, and yeah, that's how I look into these pieces. When it comes to eyes, I was lazy to do eyes that are in pattern. She is using felt, multiple layers of white and blue, and the best part about this pattern, she is giving you a Cricut cut file. That is amazing. I really applaud doing that. I was lazy to pull out my Cricut. First of all, I didn't have blue. That was the first reason. And I didn't want to buy blue just to be able to cut eyes on Cricut, because she does have an option if you're putting eyes where to put the normal plastic eyes. So I just went with that. I think he still looks good with these blue eyes. I did have to modify this brow portion just because in the pattern I think brow portion goes all the way up to his horn, just because that's how big his eye is. But I decided to do a shorter version just around the eyes because that's what I think looks the best on him. It is a lot of work, I'm not gonna lie. I'm really happy to have him. He is gonna be a showstopper because of the colors. He's very bright and in your face. The only thing is he doesn't look as he does in her photos. In her photos, he's very small, short and chubby. I am yarn over. I assume the designer is yarn under. That's why that pattern looks small, short and chubby. I don't mind. I think this is more realistic how he looks in Pokemons. I do wish his head was a bit bigger. I do think head is a bit smaller compared to the body. But all in all, I do think he looks good as a character. There was also a version of, what is his evolution called, with the horn in the middle. I didn't do that. She also has a bundle with 3 or 4 evolutions of Charizard in case you want to do all of them. I decided to go with one because I was like, after doing this one, I don't see myself doing another one. Maybe for the next year or whatever, but then I will definitely do it in blanket yarn just because that would be a beast and it would be worth my time to get $200 for this work instead of $150 that I have put now, but we'll see. If he doesn't sell for $150, I'm gonna lower the price for $120. I don't know, it's really hard to decide on the pricing because I don't know what to expect in exhibitor hall. We got the map, I know where we are, and I'm not 100% happy and positive that we have a good spot, but bear in mind the same thing I said last year, because last year I thought I don't have a good spot. And I don't even know what is a good spot because I've never done exhibitor hall. And my husband said when he was in exhibitor hall last year, he didn't even go to the part where we are setting up. So I don't know what to expect. This is my first time doing exhibitor hall and I think it's gonna be last time because I'm really stressed with the amount of money I'm paying for this stall and it is just not worth. I don't want to say no, we'll see for the next year, but oh well. So technically this is the last thing I did this week. It is not a lot, it is a couple of plushies, but this killed me. That's why I didn't do a lot of other things because this guy took a long time and it is not that he was taking a lot of time, but I was procrastinating to finish him and often I don't like to start new project until I finish old one because I don't like to have whips when it comes to plushies. That is technically it. This is all for this week. Stay tuned. We have only 2 more weeks of prepping for this Comic-Con and then the best part starts. So yeah, I'm excited to take you along. Like I said, I will be vlogging all 3 days and yeah, stay tuned for the future videos. Thank you so much for watching and until next time, happy crafting.